Hello and welcome back to Loser King Media. I'm your host Paul, as always. I'm your mechanic Eric, as always. Today we are hopefully finishing up my 1981 Yamaha XS400 motorcycle. Bought it from a gentleman who had completed the Cafe Racer frame modification to make it look streamlined, sleek, low to the ground, there's literally nothing on this taking up that much space or weight, which is fantastic for a little thrash around town motorcycle or canyon carver, track missile, whatever you want. This isn't really a track missile, this is just a fun bike to take up in the mountains. What we're doing today is the most important thing you need to do on a either car or motorcycle that is carbureted. Put decent carburetors on your car or motorcycle. It is so important to do so. There are so many cheap Chinese eBay knockoff carburetors out there. They replicate the style of the genuine carburetors that you should be putting on your vehicle, although the insides are not the same, passageways are not the same. They're usually improperly jetted. Then when you use their jets that they provide, they don't jet right. It's a cluster. You don't want it. You can only go budget for so many items. One of the things you cannot budget on is carburetors. Do not go budget carburetors. You will not have the performance you need. The only time you should go cheap carburetor is a lawnmower, and that's about it. Anything else, you're gonna want performance. It's gonna be so much easier to tune. Eric's gonna show us a demonstration on how to tune carburetors. These are already pre-jetted from the kit that I bought, so they should be a-okay right now, hopefully. But there's so many different factors into determining what the correct jets are, what the correct fuel-air mixtures are, what the correct idle screw is set to. All these terms that I'm throwing out you might not understand, but we'll show you in person on this motorcycle here in just a minute. Back to what I was talking about, the genuine carburetors. Gotta go genuine because it is gonna make your life so much easier when you first start to tune them, or even when you've been tuning them for a while and you got your cheap Chinese knockoff and it just isn't tuning right. Probably because it's a cheap Chinese knockoff, not because you're a bad mechanic, just because it's bad carburetor. So, yeah, we got some Mikuni VM30 carburetors, 30 millimeter carburetors. They're a good upgrade from the factory carburetors, hopefully. Factory carburetors on this XS400 are going to be a constant velocity style. They're great for drivability, rideability, whatever you want to call it, but they don't have that throttle response you want when you're, just whipping it around. You want that power. These are, what are these, round? Not flat sides.
Well,
Flat sides?
well, no, they're just considered round top mechanical slides at probably a 32 mil.
These are 30s.
30s.
The ones we took off are 32s. Anywho, they're mechanical slide carbs, so the linkage from the throttle to the carburetor. This is your throttle cable. And what I mean by mechanical style carburetors being pretty much instant response, is the motion from the throttle controlled by your wrist is being transferred from here on the one to the two carburetors. You see here while I'm pulling up, each of these throttle ends comes down. What that's going to do is that's going to draw the slides up, so you have that pretty much instant throttle response that you would want on a performance-oriented motorcycle build or car build or anything. Mechanical setups they're tricky to learn initially, but once you speak that language, they're fantastic. All right, now we're going to talk about ways you can determine if your carburetors are authentic or cheap knockoffs. Number one, if you didn't pay that much money for them, they're probably cheap knockoffs. If it is too good to be true, it probably is an age-old saying. Another way to tell if your engine is in good running order, valves are adjusted to where they need to be, your idle fuel screws are set to where they need to be, you know the carburetor's cleaned out, and it's still not wanting to start, idle, or run decently well, probably have cheap knockoffs. Because if you are determining your specifications are where they need to be, carburetor's not doing its thing, it's probably the carburetor. Probably don't have a good carburetor. Another way to tell is branding. Is it branded? Are there etches of the brand of carburetor? Are there stamps? Are there molds showing you, hey, this is a Mikuni, hey, this is a Kenshin, hey, this is an old Yoshimura, things like that. Very, very important to look out for that. This is the carburetor, one of the two that I pulled off the bike when I first got it. They are cheap knockoffs. There's a few things that tell you there's no branding anywhere on this carburetor. It just says 32 millimeter right there. Doesn't really, that just tells you the specification of the carburetor. It doesn't tell you what brand it is. That is a big no-no. You have like this random number. It's really, really hard to make out just because it's a cheap knockoff. They look very, very similar on first glance, and they're really, really cheap. So obviously you want to throw them on, right? No, don't do it. This is a PWK style carburetor. 32 millimeter is a bit too large for this engine. It's only a twin 400cc single overhead cam. Don't need anything bigger than 30 millimeters unless you have a big cam or exhaust, it's bored, it's stroke, which this isn't because it's a 400cc twin. We're not trying to do anything crazy on it. Yeah, you can't get big jug kits for these. Because if you want performance, you just go to the 4 cylinders or you go force reduction, something like that, right? Anyways, cheap knockoffs, don't get them. They're not going to work. We're going to show you what a good carburetor does to a bike, and that is it makes it run. It makes it run well, and then you're happy at the end of the day because cheap knockoff equals sad. Good, genuine carburetor hurts the wallet, make you happy. Because at the end of the day, what does it matter how much you spend on the carburetors when you're on that motorcycle and it's making you feel like Freebird? Not to throw that banger of a song out there, but you're feeling free, top of the world, not a care in the world. You don't care that your wallet was affected by the genuine carburetors because you're having a good time. Now, if you go with cheap knockoffs, you're gonna be thinking about, man, I should have just bought the genuine, authentic carburetors. Cost a little bit more. Anyways, enough with that. Let's show you the good carburetors, and let's see if this bad boy will fire up. Now we're gonna show you what the good guys look like. Boom! Look at that. These are VM30 Mikuni carburetors. You can see the Mikuni brand shining nice and bright here. You can also just tell it's a premium metal as well compared to the knockoff one. You can just see, if you look close, the difference. You have to look at enough of them to know, but you can definitely tell the difference in person. You can also see the plunger style choke circuit here. Really, really cheap plastic, whereas on the Mikunis, it's a premium metal choke lever. These were pre-jetted as well, which means we have not touched the jets whatsoever. Haven't fine-tuned it at all. Now, we're going to attempt to start it. It's got a kickstarter right here. Like this. That is what premium quality gets you, premium results. So, if you're thinking about cheaping out on your carburetor setup, don't, because there's not that much here anyways. You got your wheels, your tires, your brakes, and your engine. And carburetors are the thing that control the fuel and the air getting into the engine. So don't cheap out on your carburetors. Come on, guys, you're better than that. Hopefully you learned a lot in today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.